Welcome back to the Christian Music Guys, the podcast for Christian music fans by Christian music fans. As they say, it's the end of 2024 as we know it. And I feel fine.
And now go into the rap part, Jacob.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly.
Watermelon. Is that what they say when you don't know the lyrics? You just say
You just say something.
And guys, this is our year-end show. We wrap up another amazing year. Guys, as you look back and reflect on the year 2024, what does it bring you?
Heartburn.
Chris, it brings him a new kid.
Well,
A new kid and half of a finger.
yeah. You know what, Jacob?
Well, I guess I have to edit that one out.
Have we talked about that? The injury?
Yes, a few weeks ago.
No, I did. We talked about the injury. My
He had
goodness.
the big bandage on it then. Well, gentlemen, looking back on our many episodes, I will say we hit 200 episodes this year and 3 years of doing this podcast. And we've grown with numbers, grown with listeners. We were able to do more things this year in Nashville. And those were amazing. And you guys got any top interviews that you can think of? Bueller?
Chris has left the building. Hey, go.
I will say this is the year that we've had multiple 2- and 3-time guests, some 4-time guests.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have, old friends return, continue the conversation. I think for me, one of those I think about is having our local neighbor, Steve McWhorter, on again, because I liked the fact that we had a shot at redemption because he was early on, and that was rough start to things, figuring out what we were wanting to do and how we were going to go. So kind of having a part 2, to be able to redeem a little bit of the awkwardness and some of the weird questions that Jacob liked to ask.
We had one of Chris's favorite guests again. I believe he was a 4-time guest this year, but Matthew J. West was back on.
I thought you were going to say Bob Smiley.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were going to go with.
3-time guest for Bob, but Matthew J. West, 4-time
Matthew's
guest.
a little bit more desperate than Bob. He's been on 4 times.
Again, I mean, we've talked about it several times. Our time with Redbird this year to do the new artist showcase, that was pretty sweet during GMA Dove Weeks.
I really enjoyed, as far as just thinking back, because honestly, like when you were like, what was one of just talk about one of the favorite interviews. I mean, I had to look at the list. You get to the point where there's just so many. 200, as a matter of fact, over 200. I'm looking at the list and I see Sean Curran, and I really loved that conversation with him. It was a really good conversation. Just, yeah, it's just one of those times where you sit down and you can tell like he didn't really have like an agenda or plan, and it was just like, hey, let's talk about where the Lord leads us, and those are always really fun, enjoyable, because it's definitely like I think we get to have our listeners sit in on a conversation that's happening. I mean, that's what we try to do, but sometimes it just feels a little easier, and that was a really good one. I remember having that conversation with Sean.
Yeah, we get to chat with the Newsboys. Another one, Jesse and Chris, that I really enjoyed, and I don't think you guys were able to be a part of it, but was Dave Stone. And for those that do not know, Dave Stone is local from Louisville, Kentucky. He does minister and preach at other churches, Arizona and I think Vegas area, I believe. But he was the senior pastor at Southeast Christian, one of the largest churches in the world, which is in Louisville, Kentucky. I think it's 9,000 people, something crazy like that. It's several thousand. I think it's close to 10,000. But he was the senior pastor there for quite a while. I don't know how many years, but that was an amazing interview. I enjoyed that, and of course,
weekly attendance of 24,000 people
out of all the locations. Yeah, they have a bunch of locations. Yeah, Max Lucado was another guest that we had on for I think 3 or 4 times now. I always tell my brothers when we have Max on. It reminds me of listening to the radio growing up and then playing like the 1 to 2 minute devotion in between songs of Max talking or whatever. And it's just so like his voice is, he's got one of those preacher voices that is so amazing, and enjoy him every single time we have him on.
Someone else we had for 3 times this year was Shonda.
Yeah. Yes. Good old Shonda. I don't even know what to say about her.
Shonda's always fun. I think this year that we got to go to the show. I took Mom.
Yeah.
Was that this year? Yeah, that was this year. That was fun to be able to go and hang out with her in person. That was cool. And another one, because we've been trying from the beginning to get Crowder on, and we finally got Crowder this year. That was fun being able to chat with Crowder about his yard flooding and stuff, and he ran inside from cleaning up his yard and did the interview with us. That was fun. That was one of those like, oh, finally made it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, another guy that stands out, I think we've had him on 4 times now, Andrew Irwin from the Irwin Brothers. They have done some amazing movies like I Can Only Imagine, Jesus Revolution, Unsung Hero, Ordinary Angels, just to name a few. And man, powerful films. And they just did one with Dallas Jenkins, which, guys, it's doing so well, or it did so well. I believe it's still in a few theaters, but the best Christmas pageant ever they were a part of with Dallas. And I will say that will be a movie that will be a classic Christmas movie for sure.
It's funny because I feel like we have them on so often, but it's because they're literally involved in so many different films that are happening. It's like, the Irwin's going to be back on. It's like, oh yeah, well, they're involved in another movie. Here we are again.
Yeah. Yeah, another interview that stands out and is Jonas Mirren, and I talked to him about a project that he was a part of back in the spring, and I didn't realize until I was like digging into his resume. Yeah, Jonas has had his hands on a lot of projects, and I didn't realize he co-wrote 10,000 Reasons with Matt Redman, and he's written so many other worship songs with Hillsong and Lauren Daigle. He's written several songs for her. I'm like, man, that's an amazing thing to say, like these staple Christian worship songs.
Yeah, he came up with the first 5,000 and Matt did the other 5,000. I think that's how they did it. They split it right down the middle.
Yeah. And then another guy that, we absolutely love having him on is Michael W. Smith. Had him back on early spring to talk about his Easter projects. That's somebody that we like talking to as well. And then, I would like for 2025, if we could find more YouTube influencers. We got to talk with that Leonardo Torres guy, the reaction dude that reacts to those videos, and that was pretty cool.
We're gonna put some names out there into the world. Throw some names out there. Dude, what we would hope for. Dude, perfect. I would say Ryan Trahan.
Danny Go.
Love to have him on. Danny Go, man, my kids would think I'm the coolest person ever if Danny Go was on.
Danny Go.
Oh, I love Danny Go, man. With that, I said Ryan Trahan. I think perfect. It'd be cool.
We still want Blurry on. I know, we've talked to him a few times back and forth, but we'd like to get them on. What other YouTube people are out there that are believers? I don't know, but there's several that we would like to get on. Of course, we got to talk to CC this year. That was really fun. And another episode, guys, which I was excited to talk to him, but I didn't realize how much we would open up and just unravel so many different things and just the details of what they do, was the guys from Plugged In, from Focus on the Family. That was a really fun interview to talk about. Man, they have to go see all these movies and write down everything, so that was pretty cool.
It is. Yeah, it was a lot more involved than I think you'd realize in how they approach it. It's not just like, oh, do I recommend it? No, they're really looking into it.
Josh Baldwin, Corey Mann. That's another guy that we've been wanting to get on.
Who?
Corey Mann.
Who? The comedian.
Yeah, the comedian. Yeah. Yeah, just so many, man. There's just, guys, there's so many interviews on our list that we've done this year, and projects that we were, like I said, we were able to be a part of. And course, going to the Caleb's again and the Doves and just the craziness. We did some shows this year. I got to go to Rock the Universe back in January. Jesse went to the Shonda show, and then you guys went to a few, I believe. You guys went to Michael W. Smith.
Yeah.
Was that a spring show? I forget.
It was cold outside. I think it was early in the year.
I think
Okay.
it was early in the year.
Yeah, that would have been early because it was really cold out. I remember that.
And then, yeah, I want to say y'all went to a For King Country show. I don't know, but yeah, we've done several shows this year. Always love covering those and getting to talk with people in person. Of course, Jesse takes care of all of the listeners that email us with questions, and Jesse
As
will.
best as I can. Sometimes I'm late, but I usually get to it.
And for those wondering and listening, and you're like, I have reached out for you all to interview me about a song that I've written or whatever, or a project that I'm a part of. We're not ignoring you, but here's the deal. We get a lot of those. We get a lot of people that DM us, a lot of people that email us wanting to be a part of us somehow. And we just, we get so busy, and we plan out like a couple months in advance of our interviews and stuff. Right now, we got stuff booked in March already.
And I think honestly, it is hard to not do those things. I think sometimes, but there's also the reality of all three of us have full-time responsibilities outside of even the podcast and families with kids, and so we have to guard our time. And when we say yes to something, it has to be something that is well thought out and well planned. So it's not like we're ghosting everyone on purpose.
Yeah, but we will eventually get to you and maybe work with people that reach out to us. And sometimes we do get to listen to the songs that people send us that they work on and whatever. So yeah, as we close out 2024, it's been a good year. A lot of fun memories. Looking forward to 2025. Would love to do a lot more stuff with our show, a lot more events. We love being invited to these different events that take place. There was one event, and I forgot to chat about two events actually. A Chosen Con was fun back in July, late July, and I told my brothers when I was there, I was like, it's so, I know there's Comic Cons and things like that, and I just wasn't expecting for everyone to be dressed up as Moses, or a Bible character. Everybody was dressed up as Bible characters, but it makes sense, it's the Chosen Con, and so it was fun getting to meet Dallas and the people that portray the Bible characters.
And Bear Grylls.
And what?
Bear Grylls.
That was really sweet. Yeah, that was really cool. I wanted to. He was super busy. I only got to ask him one question, but I wanted to just like, hey, can we jump off a building together and land on our feet?
So weird.
What?
So weird. Can we jump off a building together?
Yeah. I mean, he's man versus wild. Why not? Yeah, it was fun meeting him. And Chosen Con was really fun.
And then one of my favorite things, I guess, since we're looking back at 2024, was the New Artist Showcase, Redbird Commons.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that evening. That was such a fun night.
Luke Bauer and Emerson Day and Caleb and John. And, of course, Micah Tyler was the host. It was good times. And, man, we really got to see some, the Christian music future looks promising because these artists were incredible voices, powerful. And it was exciting.
Well, speaking of exciting, have you been to youtube.com and searched for the Christian music guys? Oh, that was a good transition right there.
Here's a good transition.
You have to hit live first, bro.
I did hit live.
I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
Thank you.
I'm not hearing anything.
Really?
You're not?
Literally.
And this?
I heard it.
Jesse, you should have wore a red shirt. We would have all had red on.
I have a red beard. I don't need a red shirt.
So, Jesse, tell us why people should go to YouTube.
Well, Mr. Beast is a good reason. People like him. They seem to like Mr. Beast. Some people would say that there's a Christian Music Guys YouTube channel that's been popping off, as the young people say. It's quite lit. No
Risen?
cap.
Is it Riz?
It's risen. Matter is.
Is it like Skibbity Toilet?
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's all the things that aren't that. So it's good. It's wonderful. No, but if you search for Christian Music Guys on YouTube, you get to see the interviews, not just hear them. So if you are a visual learner, that's a good place for you to go. You get to see, well, not so much us, but you get to see your favorite artist and actor, director, producer. And that's always fun.
That's right. Well, fellas, closing word of 2024. Thoughts, words. The McRib is back. That's all that matters.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
That's right. Chris, final thoughts? As you could tell, Chris is the man with the most words out of the three brothers.
Especially tonight. Literally.
What I'll say, since Chris is going to have a third kid next year, is what you can say to 2024 is goodbye, peace.
And it's his first girl.
Yeah.
Now you just need one more girl to even it up. This time next year, folks, the end of 2025, Chris and Jessica will be expecting again. We hope you've enjoyed the Christian Music Guys one last time this year, 2024. We'll see you next week. It'll be a new year, 2025. And isn't there like a New Year's song?
God and ever brought you by for all things I. God bless us, everyone.
Everyone have I.
Fellas Navidads. Well, thank you so much. ChristianMusicGuys.com. Please go there. Pick up all of our merch.
All of it. Not just one
all
thing.
Of it. Every
all
single,
the merch.
Every single
all
thing.
the merch.
We love your support. At Christian Music Guys is our social media handles. At Christian Music Guys on YouTube. Again, you need to go there, subscribe. We will see you next time.